Welcome back to your coverage of the Kiev Major. It is the CIS Qualifiers. I say that for the first time, actually. You're the expert in the CIS Qualifiers, considering I've only been casting at you the entire time.
Yeah, I guess that makes me the expert. Well, that's a scary thought for. Yeah, so we have VP coming in, who undoubtedly the favorites, not only in the CIS qualifier, but I think you throw these guys in pretty much any region, very likely would be considered like a top three team.
I agree.
To outright win the qualifier. They came in undefeated, 9-0. They dropped a game to Navi though. They looked a little shaky.
They did.
In doing so.
I don't think anyone was really expecting that. Like, Navi, sure, they're definitely a team that could take one game off a top team, but like the end result was still exactly what we were looking for. Or I say looking for, like I was like, yes, yeah, wait, Navi lost, woo woo. No, but it's the fact that we expected Virtus.pro to still just get all the way through. And okay, is this really happening?
Well, the first overall pick, LD. So Centaur not banned. He's led through. He's been the go-to offlaner. So
I was actually looking through the drafting phase for the entire group stage, and in the entire group stage, Virtus.pro, they banned Lone Druid and Centaur. And if they didn't ban it, it was banned by the other team. They never let it through, and until today, this never happened because they had both the Lone Druid as well as I think it was a Meepo that also got through in one of the games as well. So yeah, it's just. That was Team Empire that was playing that one.
It's one of those like, Lone Druid's broken or Centaur's broken, but if we leave both of them in the pool and Empire doesn't ban one of them with their first two, then we know one will get through for sure. So if you're Empire, you either you ban neither, you ensure you get one, or you ban one of them and then you get nothing. So I like the fact that Empire, I guess, let it through at this point, but I don't know if they're expecting VP to leave it available. Yeah, so Lone Druid does obviously match up pretty well 1v1 against like a Centaur if they end up, say, running like the offlane Centaur alone or running the Lone Druid to the offlane. So I think VP has to be pretty happy with this start.
They'll be very satisfied. Any kind of game too. Like I noticed also with the previous games where it was more of this slower kind of start, but you can do faster trade-offs with the buildings. Sure, you're not building up the bear as much anymore, but Lone Druid, the Druid himself, actually still packs a punch. And Empire now with a double melee. Always, I'm normally okay with this, but with the amount of control that Lone Druid is capable of offering, even if it's just through Savage Roll or it's through the DPS that forces them back, and you've still got all of the VP supports to come, I'm okay with it.
It's a very like fighting style lineup for Empire so far.
Yeah.
Lots of burst damage. They don't really take objectives particularly well yet. Outside of VP though, going for some heavy push with the Venjara, the LD already.
It's the maneuverability, right? Like Centaur, obviously, like he's been so damn good with his Aghanim Scepter upgrades, and a lot of teams have been reaching the point where they get refresher ags, so you don't do any kind of damage. And the Ogre Magi is like great in the laning phase, but only if you can really get a good matchup where he can influence it. And we're seeing that drop more and more throughout the qualifiers as well.
We've seen a decent amount of carry venge as well, actually.
Yeah, carry venge is actually more than support.
Yeah, so
but that would then beg the question: where do you want to throw the Druid?
Yeah, I mean, it is a somewhat flexible hero. Generally, he has been getting the one position farm, and most people feeling like he can take it to late game. So I think probably we see the Venge as a support here, but there's always that possibility they mix it up, put the Lone Druid in the off lane, run the Venge as a safe lane farmer, or even go like aggro tri lane.
And you see the way Miposhka actually reacts to it too, like he bans out the Drow Ranger. Like we talk about Lone Druid and VS potentially being one, but he's still very fearful of just that insane aura combination which VP is able to bring together. And that's the other reason too why we've seen Keeper of the Light being one of the more popular heroes. It's the counter push to this early aggression against your buildings. Because you need to have something like that or else the buildings just get completely mowed down. And right now Team Empire, they don't really have that. Like Ogre and Centaur have no D-push. The downside about running a Centaur in that three role.
Oh, the Ursa gets banned out. So Ursa, another hero that's been fairly popular. We saw him used pretty successfully by, I think it was Faceless in the C qualifiers earlier today. Just a very versatile carry, someone that can control the lanes pretty well early on, doesn't need a whole lot of help, matches up well against Centaur 1v1, so that would leave them with the flexibility to like run the Lone Druid mid or potentially off lane. So I like the Ursa ban here. Still not sure what Empire wants to run as their carry. Obviously, they have Centaur scales pretty well in the late game, especially with return, but and he'll want a decent amount of farm priority to get the eggs, which is pretty much why everyone seems to love the hero so much nowadays.
It's like just how heavy do you want to go on melee? Because I'm thinking right now, like Team Empire still need to have a proper, like you're gonna have Centaur for initiation, but do you just go survivability with a good support behind it and then have like your range mid? You still got Invoker that could be played into that mid lane, and then potential aggression of the safe lane. Who can close the distance and kill off the Lone Druid?
Oh man, they're going super heavy team fight here. This is a lot of AoE, a lot of just burst damage. Still no real physical DPS hero. No one that really takes advantage of the Bloodlust just yet, and no one who's going to win a 1v1 against a Lone Druid right now.
No.
At least not heading towards the late game.
I got a feeling the Warlock is meant to slip into that role, because I remember I was casting with CNC before, and he was just like talking about like the Warlock as well as the Dazzle, and how these two heroes are becoming the heroes which just ensure that you win your safe lane, because you know they can zone out the off lane. It's going to be either through Shadow Word of like damage or like the repairing of damage.
And
heal words.
The repairing.
The repairing.
And he's getting the repairing. Can you imagine me to say that every team fight? And he's getting his damage repaired. Awesome.
That has to happen.
All right, I'm sure it will.
Challenge.
I'm sure there will be a heal.
Challenge is accepted. The repairing of damage in the middle of the fight.
Someone will get a heal, Toby. Don't worry.
there should be There's only one proper healer on the field at the moment. That's Warlock. We don't even have like what we're having in the secret games, which we were watching on the main stream before, which was like the Enigma pickups with these early mech carriers. You don't get that from a Centaur off lane. You're definitely not going to get that if Lone Druid goes anywhere near the off lane.
Oh, Empire grabbing the PA, so could well be their mid hero. With again the Centaur, someone you can run like safe lane solo potentially.
You still need to see the mid forward.
Yeah.
But it's right, they needed a BKB carrying hero. That was probably one of their biggest things. Something which the Lone Druid can't instantly just control unless it's through Entangle.
It's tricky though, right? Because you want to just jump on him and focus him down, but he has Savage Roar. You already have Swap, VP. I mean, depending on whether it's a core or support Venge, potentially room for another support like a Dazzle. So LD is already not that easy to kill. Or for a PA to reliably like stick on him in fights.
That also might be absolutely terrible for a Phantom Assassin on the top. Like, no, it's not going to be an Earth Spirit aggression. I was thinking like, what happens if you try and run like some kind of aggressive lane against the Phantom Assassin? Vengeful Spirits are great at doing that, but the Earth Spirit is ours. So I take that one back, and it'll just be a Bat Rider off lane.
Oh yeah, VP grabbing the Bat Rider. I think the first time I've seen him today.
He rocked up during the NIP game. Was it the NIP game? It was
not sure.
It was Bears. It was Bears.
Okay.
Bears ran it off lane, and it failed horrendously. He still found all the farm. Like there was nothing that was really stopping that. As I now will quickly. Luckily that doesn't appear on screen, but I realize I'm not offline.
Is that the aliens contacting you, Toby?
No. Of all people, it is Anders.
Oh. Doesn't he know that there's Dota happening?
He sent me a GoFundMe helping Daniel through cancer link.
5 seconds remaining.
I shouldn't be laughing at the cancer part of it.
You really shouldn't.
Reserve time.
But it's more the fact that it's a Steam message that seems a little odd.
Well, it's one of the very few ways he has to contact me, so
okay.
I suppose it works.
The one thing I will say, so I guess let's talk Dota. The one thing I like about the Bat Rider, you're up against Centaur. Obviously, you can't like Stampede to just get someone away. If they're lasso, they're not. The Stampede is not going to save them.
Yeah.
The damage reduction might help, but you can still drag them out of position. And Empire doesn't really have a great answer for the lasso. They've already picked their supports.
Yep.
So unless I guess you could run a core Warlock and then potentially sneak in like a Disruptor, but guess what? He's banned. So maybe IO. There's not too many lasso counters at this point. So that's why I like the pick for VP. They sneak it in very late.
Mm-hmm. I'm still just looking for something else. Okay, well, the Timbersaw is going to arrive for Virtus.pro, so they needed some level of frontline sustain. Obviously, we'd never rely on the bear to do that anymore, so it kind of has to be the Timbersaw. I just can't believe an entire game goes by where an Invoker is not even touched.
Hasn't had the best success for some of the teams. Like, Navi has gone to the hero a lot for Dendi. It looked a little shaky. Have these teams been running Invoker particularly well? I haven't.
Europe is kind of like, it's been a staple more than anything else in Europe. But we go for Mr. Buff. We go for the Horn of Magnus. You said they were going all out team fight. Magnus is the king of team fight.
Yeah, also gives them a really scary PA. Now you've got a PA with Bloodlust, with the power. This is a super Phantom Assassin. Yeah, so with that pick, I think it's hard to say who really... I mean, probably Empire at this point has the better late game. So you imagine Centaur, Ags, Fatal Bonds, Empower,
Empire
Bloodlust,
still has
PA.
the issue of pushing high ground. And VP could sort of have the same issue unless if the Lone Druid goes down. They also just can't push the high ground. And up against Team Empire's lineup, pushing high ground is already a scary enough fact if the Lone Druid does drop. And this is a VS support, so we're not looking at her to be the damage dealer against the
10
buildings.
seconds remaining.
They are 4 melee heroes, though. 4 melee heroes against Lone Druid,
Yeah.
against the Batrider Timbersaw.
Yeah.
And even the Magnetize. Like, this is not going to be an easy early to mid game for Empire. But come late game, if they have all their farm, if you're working towards like a late game Warlock support refresher, if Centaur has his Ags, the Magnus is leveled up in power, they have points of Bloodlust, PA is farm. At that point, they're very scary.
Solar just solo smoked. I think it's actually one of the very few times I've seen this happen. He popped the smoke after he TP'd out to the shrine, so no one has that invisibility to run forward. And he goes very deep on the observer
Living up
ward.
to his name.
Yeah, the solo smoke. Pun was intended. Does he actually... He was visible for a fraction of a second, going back to the tier 1 tower.
Okay.
So the pings aren't coming out from Team Empire like they noticed it. But Team Empire focusing their vision quite heavily towards like the mid/top area. So wherever Pasha is moving, they want to know about this. And Pasha hasn't gotten any items yet. Like he's looking at his boots. Okay, now he's actually bought something. He bought the Iron Talon. So we've got ourselves a abandoning Batrider on the top lane.
Yeah, it's pretty hard to do much against PA Warlock. Just throw the dagger out and the Fatal Bond harass ticks in. Even if they don't kill you, they're going to zone you rather effectively out of lane. So
Team Empire will be watching it very closely, so that's why I'm interested to see just if like Ogre, like if Maposhka wants to go for a bit of a run over. Try and contest it, but until you get level 2, Batrider can't really do a stack.
yeah, he'll definitely need to leech experience from the lane as much as possible. They have dropped an Observer Ward so they can keep eyes on the Ogre, who looks like he might be trying to roam a bit. Maybe contest that early camp.
Yeah, he's not wanting to let Pasha have it. So if Pasha does want to come down, try and stack it, like Ogre will take the experience and potentially go for the extra bit of a kill option. I'm also watching Lil hovering around the bottom lane. We never even touched on it, but the fact that Lil has his Earth Spirit, you go for the first stun, rolling boulder forward, a quick Hoof Stomp, the Centaur copping a lot of damage. That PMS is protecting him, but he'll get back to the tier 1 tower and have to start burning through those consumables.
Yeah, you really have to put the pressure on the Centaur early in the laning stage, and has only 4 tangos already, has to hit up the shrine, so not really the best start for him. They didn't really commit all that much. That's the nice thing for VP. And they get right to work with pulling. So this is definitely going to be a hard lane for the Centaur, but as a hero, you have to commit a lot to slowing down early on. Two
Going
supports,
again.
just dedicated harass.
Get the Centaur off my lane.
Oh, courier snipe in the mid lane.
Quite possible. There's still a walking courier, and it's just going straight back down the lane. There's no boots. There is the Orb of Venom, and he misses the first hit.
Stupid Ogre.
Pulling out the last minute. Ghost 6 is on the run. Solo doesn't actually have his magic missile yet. Now he does, so he can throw it out. And they may have enough damage if Lil could only just get in front of him. But he can't do it for another 3, 2, 1. And now rolling boulder forward, and he hits the target. Centaur will fall, and what a time for everyone on the main stream to come and join us. Welcome to everyone on the Beyond the Summit main stream. This is Virtus.pro versus Team Empire, your winners bracket final for the
Oh
CIS
man, what a
Qualifier.
disastrous start here for the Centaur. So, missed quite a bit of experience at the tower while that was happening. Already drank the shrine, and then on top of that, ends up giving up a first blood. So he is having a rough time. Meanwhile, Pasha also struggling a lot in the off lane, but gets the
So close.
Just get the bounty rune. Should be able to eventually get that level 2.
He kind of got destroyed. Wait, Lil's going to do this. He's got a haste rune going in after the courier, and that's the bottle. It's the bottle for Magnus. FN.
And meanwhile, Batrider trying to fight here. Miposhka came in to harass him. Is going to have to TP away. Now Kane are being chased out, so Pasha will get his level 2 at the right time to put the pain on Empire. This is even going to drag the PA off the lane.
It's still a pain in the butt for Pasha. Like before, when he had the 5 stacks on the Saturn camp just to the south of the bounty rune, that was when Ogre rotated in and just harassed him out. Like, actually removed half of his life, and Pasha had to go back. Then got forced to TP out of the top lane, and now is back in, waiting for Firefly to come back off cooldown and do the stack again. He just can't get any level of, like, flash farm.
I don't think we'll see too much lane presence from either offlaner after the start they've had.
I agree.
Both mid laners getting their courier sniped as well, so courier sniped attempt, I should say. FN's actually going down, so he's not gonna have a great time here. Did go for the empower
solo
Iron Talon.
issues. Ghostic able to get the Hoof Stomp. There's no double edge. He went 2 points actually up in the Hoof Stomp. So Solo with the extra stun, but he's slowed down. The Orb of Venom doing his work, but now he just needs to keep running a little bit faster. Out of range to the tower, back past the tier 3 tower. They don't have the movement speed. It's 3, 4, 5 versus 290 and 300. With the Ignite, he will burn out. One quick wave of terror, but they had to work for their dinner.
You know what they say, Toby.
What do they say?
Better to burn out than fade away. He burned up.
FN.
It's true. Alright, so they got the
Wait, is he actually... Phantom Assassin jumps in for this one. The Hoof Stomp is down. The Timbersaw, he'll end up bringing it back in. The kick was on the way in, but it wasn't enough from Lil to create enough space for the Timbersaw. But he just solo killed up the Magnus and forced a rotation in from 3 heroes.
So, nice pick there on the Timber. At the same time, Ramsey's getting the bottom lane to himself. PA free farming top, though. Even with that rotation, it's still up on CS. So Batrider gets some much-needed experience. Hits level 4. The Centaur also 4. So both offlaners recovering fairly nicely. You can see Centaur going towards his own Iron Talon. Batrider, Pasha already has his. So they'll both catch up. They're both decent in the jungle with the point in return already grabbed for the Centaur. And the Batrider now having some points in Firefly.
It's just how long Centaur's able to stay at the jungle. Like, I'm almost feeling right now that Virtus.pro are going to create a lot more space just by pushing him this bottom lane, adding pressure to the tier 1 tower. They have really great vision as well, so even if Empire try and contest this, it's going to be difficult. A level 2 Vengeful Spirit you're not that scared about, but the stun can create space, and that's all Ramses is looking for. The early Ring of Aquila build-up, just adding the extra armor, and it's going to force some level of reaction out from Empire, but then again, can they? Like, they already... Okay, the Ogre can TP to bottom lane. And so can the Warlock. But that's not really enough to stop the push. And in fact, they go for the stuns, and they're pushing Centaur out. He still doesn't have his Tranquils.
I definitely want to secure Ramses, his early farm. With the way this lineup is built, he's going to be their main tower sieger. It is not a carry Venge, it's just a pure support. So you need a farm lone druid, and they'll put a lot of emphasis in securing that.
Going again.
Poshka getting caught mid.
Yeah, Observer Ward down. Soldier has to lend a magic missile, and that'll be enough to ensure that no one gets the kill.
Yeah, last time they caught him at a pretty awkward juncture right as he was diving the tower, and were able to find the kill, but there's no one who really lanes that well against this hero at this stage of the game. Timbersaw is going to get free farm basically no matter what. And so it's all about fighting trades, maybe finding kills elsewhere, but you're just not stopping him from CSing.
Yeah.
You can see whoever goes there immediately like loses half their health, goes to the jungle, or ends up dying.
And that's really it for the Magnus. Like, uses Empower buff up, farm up inside the jungle. That's the way he can repair a lot of it. Keep on top of those bounty runes like Solo's already doing, but this time he's a thief.
I like this VP just playing like that economy game, knowing Timbersaw doesn't really need any help. LD doesn't need any help. Batrider's actually doing quite well on his own now, so they're free to move around with these forts.
Spirit's going to roll in, and Maposhka. So easy. Way too easy.
This is a great ganking lineup. What they maybe lack in like straight-on laning presence or harass compared to, say, Warlock or Ogre, Earth Spirit and Venge make up for in their ganking prowess. So they picked 3 fairly strong laners. Pasha struggled a bit early on, but at this point they're all very independent, so the supports can really do whatever they want.
Wait, is that going to connect? Lil? He's going to miss the kick. Rolled forward, hoping to get the Chakram follow-up. But not possible.
Just constantly shoving the lane in here. Like, look at how much space he's creating for the rest of the team. This tower has already lost a quarter of its HP with a Timbersaw just pushing in the creep waves, basically.
That's the creep waves doing the damage. Definitely not the Timber.
Yeah. And even Poshka just kind of runs through. He's like, can I harass this guy? Not really.
No. Can FN harass this guy? Not really.
Yeah, has not even bothered skilling up RP just yet. There's really not much kill potential unless he's horribly overextended.
It's farm with the Shockwave. It's farm with the Iron Talon. It's literally just farm up levels. And eventually, when the Phantom Assassin's ready to fight, give the Empower buff. And look for the big just blast down 1-2 heroes, the 2-man RPs with a PA jump in. That's what they're searching for. And they're going to need to do this sometime soon, because Virtus.pro, this lone druid's getting bigger and bigger, and all he's going to have to start doing is rotating around. Taking out the tier 1 tower mid will be an easy target, then up towards the top. Dire normally not wanting to defend that after the 10-minute mark.
This is generally how VP plays. We'll have a couple of early ganks as they make a move on Lil Bottom.
Issues, rolling boulder, the kick is out. He needs more space. Solo might be able to help create that. The stun onto the Phantom Assassin. No more TP supports coming in, however, so they can just turn this into a 2-kill, and that's exactly what they'll do. Phantom strike forward, the extra stun from Maposhka. Still no TP support. Now it will come in the form of the Timbersaw, who shreds them through. The Stampede, they need space. They need to keep their Phantom Assassin alive, and that's exactly who no one's looking for. But Maposhka, he's sacrificing himself for the greater good!
He missed! Oh no.
Oops.
That hurts. Pasha maybe going to make a move here on Kanar in the top lane. It's a small consolation, I suppose.
Does he actually have enough damage to get him? Okay, he has to commit the lasso.
Even then, it takes a while. His bottom lane, it's up to no one to get a little vengeance, a little revenge. Should be able to find Ghost Stick here, I believe. Yeah, he hits that chain.
I love how he used the Stifling Dagger onto Lil. Keep the range up so Lil can't just go for the simple kick. And that's exactly what happens. He dodges at least a little bit of it, but the Whirling Death is level 4. That's a guaranteed kill on the Centaur.
So quietly, FN has just been turbo farming in the jungle. 66 CS now, tied with the Timbersaw, but the Timber has kept up the CS wall, also pressuring the lanes a lot. So you can see Ramses sneaks out of the jungle. Looks like he should take down the tier 1. Just uncontested lone druid is a scary sight.
Phantom Assassin crits the one thing he didn't want to crit. The lone druid bear.
And it's really gonna be difficult for Empire to jump him until they get a Blink Dagger here. Like Centaur stampeding in is okay, but again, you have Savage Roar to worry about. You're walking into the Boulder Smash, the Magnetize, and if you don't jump him quickly later on, once Venge actually gets 6, he's likely to be swapped out.
Still, actually, Solo needs levels. He needs space. Bringing down that tier 1 tower in the bottom lane kind of, I don't want to say it works against them, but it puts Solo into a riskier position where the PA can just jump and kill him off. That's how the death of the bottom lane before happened with the Earth Spirit and the 2 of them dying.
Definitely wants to pull the wave back where possible, so he's a little bit closer to tower, hide in the trees, and get creative.
How's Ramsey's looking? So standard build up for the Lone Druid with the Maelstrom coming in as his second item. Smoke gank from Virtus.pro, moving up through the mid. Pasha, he has that Blink Dagger. And they are looking for a good, juicy target. The only issue is they're smoking into no vision.
The juice is bottom.
Up.
It's Solo juice.
Run Solo. Magic Missile. Comes some kind of stun. They're so defensive, Empire.
Oh, they're scared, and they're right to be so, Toby.
Well, they didn't know where anyone was.
That game sense.
They went for it, but they just didn't know. Now Maposhka gets a bit of a glimpse onto Lil as, okay, Phantom Assassin didn't leave the bottom lane. Game sense question mark. Rock's going to drop up on the top. Earth Spirit in a world of hurt, but turns on the Magnetize, hitting over on 3. Lil, he should still go down here, or will he? The Shadow Word is doing the tick damage. And yeah, he does. He goes down to the Warlock.
All right. Well, sieging the tower, the Golem gets committed. If they only lose one and take the tower, well worth it. PA dead for 8. And I think this is dropping. Ramsey's likely to get the last hit as well.
The Golem's coming in for a deny. Fist.
Yeah. Nope. Nice try.
Can you train a Golem to be a ninja?
Oh, I saw Lumi lose his mind earlier today when they had the magic immune golem. So I'm pretty sure golems can do just about anything with enough training.
You need. Hear the dance music?
Yeah. I heard the disco pony earlier.
it was the centaur. But the Golem can't actually be a ninja. He could never hold a black belt. It would burn.
You've just broken my worldview, Toby.
I've probably just broken people's brains.
Wouldn't be the first time.
No, and it won't be the last.
Is that a threat?
It's just a fact. It's not a threat. It's a fact.
They do have swap now. So Solo, he managed to catch up in levels. Could initiate here. Unfortunately,
again, you're smoking into no vision.
But
The
look at
observer
this
ward's going to help you,
positioning.
but they're all smoked up. So you wait for the smoke to break. The dire observer ward's around the side, and there's Lil. He'll actually discover everybody. And the question mark, do they want to go in? Oh, you've already lost one. The RP! Catching 3 with the damage. The cleave is there. A flame break create a little bit of extra space, but nowhere near enough.
They have a Timbersaw problem though. Like
That they do.
Look at how low he brought them. 3 heroes down to like a 3rd HP.
He'll still end up killing off one. It's an ultra kill, however, for Chappie.
What a
He
crit.
will get the kill. The Savage Troll will send the Centaur back, but with the Blink Skewer, Ramsey's pulled back into the fight, and it's a full-on rampage for Chappie. Everyone gets to die from Virtus.pro.
Man, didn't get off the swap that fight. No magnetize because Lil just died instantly. And still Timbersaw brings 3 of them down to about a 3rd HP. So you do have to say for Empire, like that's the importance of starting the fight on their terms. Otherwise, you are not getting those kills and walking away cleanly. But instead, PA has a Deso now. Ooh. Well, this is the dream scenario for Empire. You have, I believe, max in power. Yeah, max in power. 3 points in Bloodlust. Early Deso. I mean, Empire could threaten for Roshan at this stage. Centaur Aghanims likely to come soon or be under construction soon. The Blink's about to be picked up, so you could start to see a glimpse of that potential late game, or even unkillable PA with all kinds of buffs and a ton of damage.
And this is where VP kind of have to like rework the way they're doing these fights. Like, both teams continue to do this. Again, we're seeing another smoke coming out, but you check the vision, there's nothing over the river. The only thing they see right now is no one, and it's thanks to this defensive dire observer ward. And that's the target they're going for. But VP had no idea what they were up against going into this fight, and we'll see if no one is capable of surviving a quick chain up.
No
He doesn't have
TP.
TP.
Yeesh. That's a big kill to be giving up, too.
How much damage can he do? That's the only question we ask now.
Not really enough.
No.
Can confirm, not nearly enough. Yeah, with the Deso, things change a lot now. Timbersaw is not nearly as survivable with that -7 armor.
You're seeing Maposhka. He's doing the run to try and get that extra, like, deeper vision now. Especially understanding that Empire want the tier 1 tower on top.
They just want to run at VP. Like, you can just see this conga line of heroes just, oh, VP, get him.
Gotta kill them all. And when you get multicast like that, you're definitely gonna kill them all. So the Vengeful Spirit down, Desolator up and running, and it's a tower on the list.
That's really the concern for VP is their team fight is very lacking as far as reliable crowd control. They have Magnetize and a lot of AoE damage, but they don't have any control. So if Empire come at them with 5, they pretty much have to dodge, have to split push, or catch a straggler with the Batrider. But barring that, they are not taking fights at this stage. So I like the way Empire is really forcing the issue. And with the Desolator, they can think about Roshan soon. They can certainly be looking to siege tier 1s, and I don't really see VP contesting them. They're more liable to play the split push game and try and stall.
This is the same issue we saw earlier today with the Batrider. I'm seeing Blink Dagger, I'm seeing 4-star, 15 minutes in. Yeah, you got your farm, but you jump in, you die. Like, what are you even meant to do? You got a bloodlusted, desolated, empowered, buffed up Phantom Assassin. There's 2 hits and you get a kill.
And sure, Batrider is, you know, kind of a counter to Stampede if you manage to lasso someone before the Stampede comes out, but late game, not really with the Aghanim Scepter. It's still going to be hard to finish anyone while they're Stampeded with the damage reduction, and you know, that doesn't save you from just getting stunned and blown up, as you mentioned. So they do find themselves in a bit of a predicament here. Empire on the back of a few brilliant ganks.
Yeah.
Next step for them, get the BKB on Chappie. They already have all the initiation they need. They're angling towards some late game insurance with the Warlock Midas, and I think you just start deathballing at objectives. Maybe smoke first, get the wards down, but Empire definitely not the kind of lineup that wants to sit back. You don't just want to trade farm with VP, you want to keep on taking the pressure to them.
Yep. And if they can keep that up, it'll be great. It'll also be great if VP fought with Ramses actually being part of the fight, as opposed to that last one that happened.
Did you see what happened to that Timbersaw, man? He doesn't want to be part of fighting right now.
You know, this is like Ramsey's like, okay, your primary source of like damage, next to no one, who kind of has to have his reactive armor charges up before the fight begins, or else he's just going to get like 3 hit down by the PA and never have any armor to defend himself with it.
Once he gets the minus 40-second respawn timer, Toby, just take it easy.
Is that your plan? As long as I die, I will respawn quickly and I can defend. That's the plan?
I mean, to be fair, Lone Druid is one of the heroes with the introduction of talent trees that really is super level reliant. Like, you need that, not so much the respawn timer, but the Savage Roar cooldown reduction is absolutely huge in late game. So I think there's a legitimate case to dodge fights as much as possible. And I just don't think you're fighting right now with the way Empire vitamized.
Yeah. Just wait for Empire to just burn off all their smokes. They should be down to almost nothing now, as we see another one being triggered up by Team Empire. And they're running over, they're around Roshan. Okay, they're babysitting the Phantom Assassin. Now, Phantom Assassin, which doesn't need lifesteal. Instead,
scan.
she's got the repairing of life from the Warlock, the jump forward, the Hoof Stomp, catching out 2 Vengeful Spirit, and the Rock down! Fatally bomb them up if you possibly can. Solo will die in the front lines. He's forced back down again, but FN's got waiting mammoth arms, ready to embrace that poor little spirit.
Could have been a lot worse. PA almost got the Lone Druid as well there. Empire did commit quite a bit with the Golem going down and the Stampede, but well worth it.
You still haven't used RP.
Yeah, and the 10-second BKB. Oh, they might find Kinar, though. This is a nice pick for VP. Well,
A little bit of a freebie.
Should be going down eventually.
Chakram's off cooldown now.
Just barely catching him.
Okay, that shouldn't look like that much work, but it's a Bloodstone charge.
So that's the Empire, you know, they used enough there, especially the 10-second BKB. They're like, well, we don't really want to take the rush. The problem is VP.
They're going to.
They're going straight for it. Oh,
But
this is a big win for VP if they get it.
This almost looks like Empire is running the Warlock book, aka we don't fight unless Rock is up. Where you can probably still get away with that. You've still got the PA plus the Magnus together. You got the RP. Their advantage is Virtus.pro is taking forever to kill Roshan. And Pasha, he's on the hunt. He's on the prowl.
Just
he
needs
sees
to stall
Maposhka.
here.
He's keeping him away.
Oh, that's big. Aegis for Ramsey.
Oh, they're still going in! Wait for the RP! A little bit too grouped up, Virtus.pro. Chappie jumps forward, almost killing off Solo. He'll swap up and then stun the Magnus, keeping him out of the fight. Letting the Timbersaw do the work, but Timbersaw, too much damage. Chappie is beyond godlike.
Abandon ship!
Run away!
Abandon ship!
There's no conquer in this! Little value rune. He gets it, he'll save his life.
Okay, so 4 heroes, 2 BKB charges by PA, the price, so to speak, and you get an Aegis.
Yep.
Worth it?
Yeah, I think so. Especially when the heroes are only support heroes. That's. I suppose there you got 3 because the Timber.
I think it is worth it just because with an Aegis, Empire's going to be able to siege much more aggressively, but it's like close to a wash, I would say. It's not as huge a win for Empire as you would normally. Just look at the kill feed and say.
If Empire can keep getting more, like their Observable to see Solo, Chappie is just looking to go in. Shockwave, a lot of it hits the Flame Break, pushing Maposhka a little bit too close towards the tower, and the kick's been thrown around. Another crit as well. Lil and Solo, they're just so low, but Pasha wants an opening. The Stampede creates a little bit of space,
soon. But they might turn this.
The Warlock's already dead.
That route.
It's the RNGesus.
Oh, Ramses.
Bad.
Unfortunately, FN is in Viz now.
No vision for him.
They might go in on him if he pushes this. Okay, he's
let's back up. Let's back up and farm. He's really close to finishing up his full Mjolnir.
Still very frail.
Yeah. Actually wondering what he gets for life. Thinking what the normal lone druid progression is here.
Butterfly. We normally see the completed Hurricane Pike after the Mjolnir, and then it's pretty flexible. BKB is a pretty common pickup. I don't know if BKB is that good this game because you can Phantom Strike magic immune targets now. Obviously, PA is going to be super buff. RP will still lock you down. The Golem will still stun you. You might need it anyway because there is still a decent amount of magic damage, but you're not feeling that great about the pickup.
Alright, Virtus.pro. Hold the tier 1 tower. This appears to be objective number 1. Chappie getting hit by a wave of terror. Going to keep his armor a little bit lower, but there's no real jump in initiation without Pasha's Firefly, which is on cooldown for the moment. And it looks like Empire will be backing up. That observable is actually paying dividends. Virtus.pro can see all around the front of Roshan. And Team Empire missed it with both of the sentry walls they planted around mid.
So what is the next big round of items here for Empire? I think that's a good question. They're working for
Aghanims will be your biggest one on Ghostic, most definitely. You've already got the BKB on the Phantom Assassin, so like having Abyssal Blade will help with the Timber, but it's not like that critical item you need. The Warlock Ags would actually be probably your only other one, which you'd want to flag big. Like the BKB on the Magnus is good, but it's not essential.
I think the one thing I am a little concerned about if I'm Empire is that PA's already burned through 2 BKB charges here, and still only about even with the Lone Druid, even with the Empower and the Bloodlust, because, I mean, Empire's just running around ganking the whole game, right? All 5 heroes constantly, it feels like holding hands as they charge through the VP jungle. So as a result, CS quite a bit down, about 30 behind that Lone Druid. And with the low BKB duration later on in the game, it's gonna be tough to like stay reliably stuck on the LD in fights. You have to worry about getting rooted. The napalm kiting will be a problem. All kinds of crowd control from the Earth Spirit. So becomes a lot more reliant on the team to hit that big RP, the big Warlock ult. And if you don't, then the PA might not be as much of a factor, even though on paper, obviously, her damage output is crazy.
As long as she has the space to pump out that damage.
Yeah, but they do have a lot of kiting potential when the BKB's down. That's the main thing Empire have to be keeping in the back of their minds. So definitely just slowing the game down. Looks like Aegis about to expire.
And King really wants that 25. Running both Midas plus the 20% experience gain.
Yeah,
that's his choice. Phantom Assassin with sustain.
I mean, magic immune golems. That's nothing to sneeze at.
Is it actually that huge in this game?
They're just okay. It's the intimidation factor, totally. You put on like the big MC hammer pants on a golem and saying you can't touch me. Oh, against Timbersaw, I think it's actually pretty important with all the magic damage, pure damage he's dishing out. So,
all right, Tier 1 tower is finally going to go down in mid. And Virtus.pro are making no attempt to defend this. Ramses instead is adding pressure towards the top lane. He's got Lil more as a babysitter behind him. And Pasha is in a little bit of no man's land. I'm not so, is he here to creep skip?
Yeah, I think they're just trying to dodge a fight right now. Ramses pushing in the top lane. Empire, as soon as the Aegis expires, this is their go time. But already looks like they want to try and back off and maybe jump that Lone Druid. Ramsey's going to run away. It's Ghostic who arrives, and yeah, Pasha's actually doing the creep skip. But then the mass TPs are coming in. He blinked up, the TP begins. FN skewers down by blinking on top of the hillside. He was able to see the TP out, but could do nothing about it. I was expecting a dagger bash there, but not going to happen. How salty would you be? Bloody Ghostic. He's taunting, and I don't think he realizes just how good his taunt is. For the fact that both Lil and Ramses were waiting to kill him. If he just stuck around a little bit longer to farm the wave, he would have actually gone down. But this is what VP needs to be doing, right? Like they don't want to take a 5v5 fight and be thrown into the mixer, so to speak, with Empire. They'd much rather give up a kill here or there, split push, drag the game out. You know, maybe they get Chappie to waste a BKB charge. The Lone Druid gets his buyback, gets his lower respawn talent, and heads towards ultra late game. And then they kind of win this war of attrition. That's really the mindset for VP, as opposed to fighting head on and just getting wrecked.
Geometry side, goodbye. Easy gold. Where's the last? Wait, so this is our last observer ward up.
That's the main thing Empire pretty weak at, is as good as their team fight is, like, their single target gank is not amazing. They don't have a Nyx Assassin, a Storm, the Bat Rider that VP have. They don't have that hero that can reliably threaten for ganks, so VP are still fairly confident to get out on the map. As I say that, Empire, here comes the smoke train.
Versus smoke. Solo's going to be the first one in. Goes for the quick stun over on the Phantom Assassin, but he's shredded! This was the place that Solo once stood. With a charge forward, they're hoping to catch up to Pash with his 4-staff. He's got more than enough speed to get away. And no one at Ramses are okay, just adding a little bit of pressure to the bottom lane. They will have to TP out here, however.
Yeah, he immediately TP's top. They're just going to keep on playing this game of keep away. And, you know, hey, they commit the Stampede. Not the longest cooldown, but Empire might have to be a little more careful about pushing down mid. Venge, hell, she's already back up.
Yeah.
For whatever she's worth at this point. Abyssal Blade up on PA.
She's the negative aura. She's better when she's dead.
Mission accomplished. Are you telling me that Solo is trying to feed Toby?
I'm saying Solo is embracing the role of the Venomancer.
Okay.
Jump in, throw abilities, and die. TP forward, the Observer Wars, the Blink Lasso. The perfect timing from Pasha was just on the max range of his Blink to hit the target. But it's enough to kill off Maposhka. And with the Ogre down, Roshan spawns up in 10 seconds time. If they scout this at the perfect time, Virtus.pro can take Roshan and have that big advantage once again.
Yeah, they might sneak it too. They're pretty fast at Roshing, to be honest. And as long as they know where Empire are, that's the big thing. If you don't, I don't think you're walking into the pit against this team.
Chain Inspector.
Sounds like a really weird movie.
It's the perfect shot. It's like, I gotta check the link in the chain.
That's a pretty good high-speed camera they have there.
Could you say it's the weakest link?
Are you trying to beat me in the crappy pun contest?
Yeah, I am. Come on, man. Like, people tune into this cast for obviously the puns. They didn't tune in for serious crap.
Puns are fun.
Puns are the greatest. That's what you get when you become an old man. For anyone who's tuning in right now that's like under the age of 30.
I'm pretty sure that's every viewer. I'd actually be curious to see how many.
We are now we're going for the small demographic. Is what we're aiming for with this cast.
It's only been like 12 hours today of European qualifier action. So I don't think the old fogies have lasted this long. Let's be honest.
No, they just woke up from their afternoon naps.
So I do like the way VP are itemizing here. We see the Shiva's Guard coming out from no one. That's another item to try and limit the PA's damage in team fights. Aside from that, the Lone Druid getting the Eye of Scotty, so going for more armor. Another item to kite her as well with that move speed slow. These will add up.
Oh, Ghostic. He's stuck. Someone got himself a 4-staff. Ghostic is currently held on top of the cliffside. He came in to do the D-ward. They don't see anything because he got D-warded out by the Iron Talon, and no one's helping him. Is this actually a team with no 4-staffs?
Well, they've got an Echo Saber on FN, but
that doesn't do shit.
Here, I'll hit the trees twice as fast for you.
He blinked up there as well. Did he get 4-staffed? He didn't get 4-staffed, did he?
No, I think he blinked it.
Because I'm fairly certain he blinked it too, to try and do the deep ward. Now the attack begins. Bat Rider gets disintegrated by the Phantom Assassin. The rock will drop. It just connect on to the RP. Minimal effect because they swap out the Lone Druid. A skewer back up a little bit higher with the cleave. They're getting a triple kill on Chappie. The Phantom Assassin has a license to kill. The Walter PPK execution.
Damn. Oh, buys back. Press a Stampede, and Empire just run in and wreck them. And they do that without a good RP. That is how good this team fight is, Toby. Like, even just a regular Centaur stun, more than enough to get the job done. Fresh Age is picked up. And you can see how tenuous the fights are for VP. They're all finesse, and Empire's just the freight train.
That was pretty fun. Like, the VS swapping out. I'm like, yeah, this could be fantastic, right? Like, they just managed to dodge the fight. The rock comes down, only hits 2. The RP only hits 2. Yeah. No. The Phantom Assassin, like, that's the freight train. Like, right here, she's slenderly built, but she's a killer. We could go on this camera and she'll kill everybody. Ghost Stick, a little bit of trouble, especially when he hoof stomps a little bit early. He's just waiting for, like, Pasha to 4-star Finn or something.
Yeah, VP feeling a little desperate to make something happen. It is a while before the Warlock ult comes back, but RP's going to be up soon. And I mean, even just with RP, it's more than enough for Empire to take a team fight. So you can see VP starting to feel a little anxious because they know when that next push comes with all the ultimates. Likely at least these two tier 2s are down and a slow siege of the base begins. Potentially they just come straight down mid and go for the jugular.
I'm wondering if this then, like how do you turn this into a split push battle? Lone Druid switches out his boots for like BTs and just tries to play the side lanes every single time.
I don't think you can quite go that all in on pushing. I think you really need more like ways to deal with the PA, maybe a Hurricane Pike upgrade. He's going MKB for the evasion. You know, we've seen people in the past go for Silver Edge to try and deal with PA, especially as the BKB wears down.
Well, you'd love Silver Edge. Yeah. Actually, like reduce her damage output. Even that would be enough to justify it.
Yeah, I think Silver Edge, especially late game, is a great choice against the PA. I mean, honestly, even looking towards like a potential Hex, but that's something maybe the Timbersaw could farm. It's all about the PA, right? Because Empire really don't have other damage outside of that. It's Echo Saber, Mag, like they have Fatal Bonds, but they don't have single target killing potential. So if a Lone Druid's relatively healthy or Timber's relatively healthy, and the PA's dead, there's a good chance VP can turn the fight around.
This Observer Ward is watching all the maneuvering of VP. So they're attacking into the tier 2 tower. The tier 3 tower has a creep wave on it once again. But Empire takes out the tier 2 tower on bottom, so now there's only 3 remaining outer towers. 2 belong to Empire, 1 belongs to Virtus.pro. They really, like, Pasha needs this. He needs to make this Batrider pick work. AKA, they need a good quality pick-off. And this is a good quality pick-off, but it's the other way around for Team Empire. They hold the PA in position, lasso her up, maybe put her on a hill, and then just get the hell out of there. The flame break, I think that was also attempting to do exactly the same thing. Pasha over the hill and the crit!
Ouch.
Oh.
That hurts. I hurt a little bit just watching that. I mean, Lone Druid's just lucky there was another crit, or Ramses is dead too. So
it's like watching a bird go into a jet engine. It's just brutal.
That's a good one. That's about as graphic as it is. Yeah, they can't seem to do it the PA. Like they have lasso, but there's just so many ways to counter initiate. Like, yeah, sure, you can't stampede, but you can blink RP, you can drop the rock. The PA is also very tanky. They don't have a counter for the evasion yet. She has a lot of armor. They don't really have that much minus armor, just Wave of Terror. And I suppose Medallion is okay. They can't actually burst her that reliably. The hero who could have done it in the mid game is Timber, but PA's got the BKB now. She's well past the point where Timbersaw can slow her down.
Yeah, and everything you commit, she'll just get it back again after the Aegis the Immortal triggers. So that top tier 3 town, they have to burn the fortification. Timber can take care of the bottom, but he has to come home.
Whoa.
I look away for half a second. Blink and you miss the bat. The BKB is down for the Phantom Assassin, so she is bailing out slightly. I say slightly. Magnus, blink in, skewer forward. They found the Timbersaw, but a 4-man kick. The Rock will create space in the Fatal Bonds, tying Ramsey, Solo, and Bears together. Solo's going down. They had to trigger up the Shrine, not to mention the buyback from the Lone Druid. He comes to the front line, still has one more bear to play around with. Leo! Oh boy! RP, hold him in, pull him down, and destroy him. Team Empire, this top ranks, this whole game belongs to them.
Oh, this Lone Druid buyback has to count for something. Looking for Maposhka, might be able to bring him down at the very least. Meanwhile, no one ever so low could Bloodstone deny, but another death into the meat grinder again. Chappie just keeps on hacking and slashing, and an ultra kill to go with the rampage from earlier. Actually making a double rampage on the game, Toby. Yeah.
GG!
That was ugly.
That was brutal. It was savage. And VP got wrecked.
Yeah, I liked Empire's overall strategy here. We've seen VP really try to play keep away a lot in the mid game and just rely on like a pure economy and patient decision making. But Empire said, no, you're gonna have to fight, and we just don't think you can take us head on. And they were right.
This MVP. Game 1.
I mean, this PA had a lot of help, right?
Yeah, she did.
It's
She
easy
did.
to look at the score and
She
be like,
did.
wow, Chappie carried
But
them so hard.
we had help from the fact there was mass amounts of nice little stuns and buff ups. Also had help the fact that the crits always seemed to come at the perfect time. So Ice Frog was on Team Empire's side for game number 1 with a 21-1-6 Phantom Assassin.
I mean, you need only go back to QO from MVP to look at, like, PA's just a fun hero to watch. When when PA's doing well, she's exciting. Even when she's not, I mean, she wants to fight. She's not a farmer, so.
Yep. I don't know, like, where you look for the weakness in it. Like, Virtus.pro, like, where did they go wrong? Did you let PA farm too much? Like, FM was not having the greatest time of his life, having the bottle sniped early on. You thought that was an opportunity, but I'm wondering if we look towards the Batrider, inability to add any kind of pressure towards that top lane, and then see the difference between the pressure Ramsey's applied and the pressure the PA applied.
There were a couple of key deaths on no one as well in a game where, like, Timbersaw was supposed to own that 10 to maybe 20, maybe 25-minute mark, depending on how hard he rolled, and that just didn't really happen. They had the one team fight mid where he got 3 heroes low, but it was after 2 or 3 of his teammates died. Ended up being a rampage for the PA. That's the fight that Timbersaw should be getting a rampage in against 4 melee heroes. So
Yeah.
I think they didn't get nearly enough out of the Timbersaw early. Part of it, maybe the underleveled Venge. Part of it, just Empire getting the jump, and a lot of that comes down to warding and the vision game more than anything.
Well, that's game 1. Of course, this is a best of 3 for the winners bracket final. The winner of this will progress themselves through into the grand final, which means they get to have a shorter day tomorrow, but it all will still come down to that one last game. Who will qualify for the Kiev Major and represent the CIS region? We'll find out, obviously, in the next 2 days, but we'll find out who makes it at least the winners at the grand final after the break.